Mods are interesting, both legally and for how long modding scene has been a part of PC gaming culture. We're talking at the start of PC gaming itself, basically, and that's not even an exaggeration. As many have pointed out before this video came out, modding exists largely because, well, it can. So when Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar Games threatened the livelihood of modders for their games, GTA 5 specifically, then I'm gonna speak about it. This is a near and dear topic to me, as I myself have made a few mods for games that I play rather often for one reason or another, so let's talk about it. Of all the topics I could have chosen to talk about from the past month or so, and trust me, I'll get to cross-platform compatibility at some point, the one that surprised me the most was Rockstar and Take-Two basically banning the use of the free open-4 mod tool for GTA 5, a tool that quite clearly wants to be in the right as far as the law was concerned. It abides by Russian law, it abides by Rockstar's rule on general modding, being that so long as mods don't touch the online portion of GTA, it's fair game. At least, not intentionally. That part's important. We'll get to that in a minute. Hell, Open4 has a moderated modding ecosystem, so no malevolent modders can submit cheap mods to Open4, things like free cache or instant car spawn glitches, the usual god mode stuff. However, because there were exploits to Open4 that allowed for online tampering, and instead of Take-Two going after the malicious mods themselves, Open4 instead was hit with what is universally known as the hammer option, a DMCA, an actual DMCA, not a fake YouTube one, for Open4, and which was subsequently pulled from further download. That is, until about a week later when Rockstar and Take-Two admitted fault and dropped the DMCA, but not before the Steam storefront for GTA 5 had a huge review bomb during that negative period, with the store ratings going from, well, mostly positive to, well, overwhelmingly negative. Turns out that if you try and stop people from adding mods to a game when mods were already allowed to exist for said game, then people will get really pissed off at you. Clearly Take-Two has never heard of the Streisand effect. That story is the general summation of what happened in that particular debacle, and I know I've missed stuff out intentionally for the sake of brevity, but I think you'd see why people were so angry. As a modder myself for, well, not GTA 5, but for other games like PAYDAY 2 and Team Fortress 2, I was very taken aback by the actions of Rockstar and Take-Two, hence this video and my upcoming strong feelings about mods. What Take-Two saw as a defense of their own IP in-game, me and many others saw that as an attack on the modding community. Mods, as Take-Two and Rockstar found out, are here to stay. Game mods, among other things, add longevity to a game by adding game mods, new features like ridiculously high resolutions and Ultra HD texture packs which you can't normally get from the developer. Hell, freaking horse armor if you want it. The only limit is your ability to code, the tools available to you, policies set by the studios who allow mods into their games, and your own imagination. Bethesda, Overkill, Valve, and pre-DMCA attempt Rockstar allowed modding because of its weird and imaginative nature, which, as I said earlier, allows to have a longer life for a game. This can lead to increased sales over a longer period of time, and may make it so that the game in question might only be known for its incredible modability. Is that a word? Well, screw you, I'm making a word. Initiatives like the Steam Workshop and whatever Bethesda are doing with their console modding program on, well, consoles, makes the game's modability far greater than any person ever anticipated. Hell, in an age where consoles are now just getting modding support on PS4 and Xbox One officially, something which PC has had for ages, remember, and the fact that consoles want to behave like toned down worse PCs with frame rates locked at 30, no graphics options to speak of, or a PC's general flexibility, it's a little rich to say that modding causes online exploits while completely ignoring the modding scene on consoles that just started to take off. Think about that, Rockstar and Take-Two. Clearly modding is an opportunity for developers to exploit modders for a longer video game lifespan, and as I said earlier, for, well, monetary gain, and I'm okay with that. No, really, I am okay with that. Half the reason I put up with Overkill and its former DLC practice was because I loved the game, I loved the modding community, and I found the mods of the game to be vital to my play. Let me give you a few examples. In PAYDAY 2, you're unlikely to see a person with several hundred hours in the game who are not using any mods. Mods such as Wolfhut that give me extra timers for drills so I can work out how long they take to open a door or a safe. Federal Inventory inventory gives me the option of coloured weapons in my inventory instead of the clear glass ones found in the base game. Thanks to the Steam Workshop that I mentioned earlier, I can submit weapon skins for a chance for them to be added into the game. Even a simple reconnect to server keybind is a must-have mod in case I lose connection. The list goes on. Same with Team Fortress 2 and a bunch of other Source games. I can make custom maps with the Hammer SDK, which is officially included in basically every Source game, and then send them off to a server for others to play, or Valve could just officially add it to the game. Same with weapons, same with game modes. Player destruction is one of my favourite least played game modes probably ever, which would not exist without the modding community. I can make the engineer listen to Animal Crossing music with his Rancho Relaxo, or pretend to be Uncle Dane and build a dispenser to his theme tune, or change the HUD to Flat HUD Blue if I wanted to. Hell, Valve in general has used the modding scene as its bread and butter for releasing new games. Portal was based on Norbacular Drop, Team Fortress Classic was a mod of Quake, the original Counter-Strike is a Half-Life mod, Dota is a mod of Warcraft 3, which Valve bought the rights to and made Dota 2 to replace it, and Gary's mod is a mod of Half-Life where the point is to make mods for others to play. Game modes like Trouble in Terrorist Town have inspired games like Town of Salem. Prop Hunt is near universal in its implementation in Source games, so clearly modding is a good business strategy, at least for Valve. They've learned that giving the tools to create mods for their games increases the chance of people sticking around. Safe to say it works. It helps that the more transparent the company is about mods and modding, the better the tools for modding, the better the mods can be, and the better the community can be gauging feedbacks on updates. It's a double-edged sword, of course. There are legal problems to consider, such as mods that use copyright infringing material, or illegal use of a company's IP, which is, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, about 3/4 of Garry's Mods Workshop. Just look at it. Things like assets ripped from Overwatch, Five Nights at Freddy's, Battleborn, Paladin, Super Mario Bros., Doom, and any number of games that I could mention, but we'd be here all day. And while I don't like it when Nintendo or Blizzard squashes game mods, I get why. Intellectual property, which is sort of what these mods are infringing upon, have to be protected due to the specifics of how that law works. Otherwise, lawyers in court could argue that you're not protecting your IP if people misuse it, and you acknowledge the misuse and don't take action via DMCAs. I am massively simplifying, but that is the general gist of it. However, mods, as an idea and of the non-copyrighted and IP infringing kind, are still very much legal in most first world countries that accept video games as an art form. Because that's what mods are in the end. They're artistic extensions and expressions of mod developers to games that you play. Modifications to suit yours or others' needs as you see fit. The best analogy I can think of is that mods are like fan art or fan fictions, unofficially acknowledged by the developers and publishers, often referenced on social media or online, and can be potentially used as a well of ideas for when a sequel comes around and the developer has not many ideas to go on. And of course, there are mods that just exist to make a horrible PC port run better than even the original developers couldn't manage, but that's a whole different video. And with that, thank you very much for listening. Also, did I tell you about how to fix the matchmaking on Payday 2 4 times? Yeah, I don't want to do that again.